This is a Clouds weather alert.
Good, very early Wednesday. Meteorologist Casey Cloud here in the Weather Center right now, giving you the latest on a severe thunderstorm warning here in play until about 12:45 for portions of Berrien County here in South Georgia, and also that full forecast update. This storm here, we retweeted some information about it over on Cloud Casey there on Twitter, but not the most impressive thing. It's pretty isolated and pretty small in nature here, but there's a small chance it could be getting some winds there to about 60 miles an hour down toward the surface, and also hail to about quarter size. So something to watch out for right now around Knoxville, Georgia there in Berrien County, but not enough to really make too big of a deal about. But our logo is red because of more potential here in the days to come. We have a lot to talk about here, but we will continue to watch this storm here in South Georgia. Again, it's not the most impressive thing we've seen here overall, but we're continuing to watch those radar scans come on in. Looking at our hail tracker, you're seeing right now hail only on the order maybe about 3/10 there in diameter. A little bit bigger earlier on, maybe closer to that inch range possibly, but again, nothing too overwhelming here. Pretty rural area, but again, it is around Nashville now, so that could be causing some problems there around Berrien County, of course. Again, we retweeted that over a little bit earlier on Cloud Casey on Twitter. That also came across there in the animated Twitter account, but it's not enough to make too big of a deal about here. We're looking toward the east of Adel on Interstate 75, toward the north of Race City there in South Georgia as well. I know earlier on we had a more impressive storm as we were getting back off toward areas there around, it looked like, parts of Brooks County. I know as we move the map down, you can see around Quitman, we're really watching some accident that ended up causing some big time problems there. I'll zoom out just a little so you guys get a better look at the whole picture. That ended up causing some problems, some trees to be knocked down. The warning was only for that potential for really the hail, but we ended up getting some wind damage there, and not even a general thunderstorm risk there, which is very unusual. Not even this one either. So getting a little bit of lighting out there, very unpredictable this accident is, and it's going to remain so here as we look ahead in toward the timeline. So just stay on your toes. Again, this is not the most overwhelming activity we've seen that we're dealing with right now. You see a little bit of accident at the state line, not too impressive, but other accident in Georgia wasn't either. They're really not expecting another warning to be issued. Weather Service even was thinking it wouldn't really get to that criteria, but it ended up doing so there. So again, severe thunderstorm warning still for another few minutes for portions of Berrien County. I know we've had some severe weather out toward Texas, the Lone Star State, even a PDS tornado warning earlier on. So more rural zones in general, but still just have to keep an eye on. But a bigger concern on that Wednesday as well out that way toward Dallas and Waco, which we'll be diving into here in just a moment. But right now, I do want to touch on what happened in Lake County. We're going to do a cut-in for areas down just south of our viewing area because it was just so serious of a situation back there on that Tuesday afternoon. Going over to the graphic system right now, you can see here we even had a destructive severe thunderstorm warning issued. It wasn't because of the winds necessarily, but it's because of that hail size there, getting in some cases upward of 2.75, 3 inches in diameter. And I just want to give an example right now of what that looks like. So this is a hailstone that's from years ago that was preserved really in wax from North Texas. Left out there when I was very young, and my mom preserved it in wax. So this is the size of about baseball size hail, though, just for an example. And you do not want these bouncing there and just having these all over the place because that'd be really problematic. So again, I'll kind of move it just a little bit closer to the camera so you guys see it a little bit better. But again, there it is right there. I mean, that really tells the story. That's the type of problem that you can have on your hand here from time to time. But even as we look ahead into toward that Wednesday, I mean, we have a chance of hail in our northern Florida counties here, north central Florida counties, as they kind of move ahead here and to show a little slight risk in play. I mean, there's always a chance you get something like that, but more likely this would be about the peak of the hail they would see around here, which is 2 inches in diameter. There's also another hailstone from about 25 years ago preserved there in wax. So this is just an example of that, though. You can kind of see what we're talking about as I move it a little bit closer toward the camera there. So again, just giving you guys an idea of what you're talking about there. And without warning, by the way, right now in Berrien County, expect maybe half this size at the maximum. So half this size here. So not too big of a deal overall toward Berrien County, but still can cause issues if you're driving, obviously, on the road out there. But again, you can see here with the risk areas in play toward, again, Florida here, that Florida Peninsula, that slight risk of severe weather in play on that Wednesday. So just something to keep in mind here. Again, it's about wind and hail, not really tornadoes, but toward Texas, we could be talking about some tornadic activity. And then toward that Thursday here, I'll kind of step out of the shot for a moment. You can kind of see what we're talking about in terms of this a marginal risk out toward the west, but I suspect some of our areas a little bit further east will get expanded into that as that's NFL draft day. And unfortunately, for NFL draft day, it looks like, and maybe some of those draft evening parties in Jacksonville or around the region, we could have some storms around, and they could be on the strong and severe side, I think. So that could be kind of disruptive to some activities there. And now I'll step back in the side. Now I have FSU tie on as we're getting ready for the NFL draft, and also just in general, I know next week they're to be having the exams and the graduation there at my alma mater. That'll be exciting for everybody out there. And also FSU softball later that Wednesday night here, as long as weather doesn't impact it, they'll be taking on the Gators in Tallahassee. So, and then we're also talking about, it looks like, I know that last FSU baseball game that got to be played was a win for the Noles. It's been a tough season for them for sure. But as we were looking there back on Tuesday night, it ended up being canceled, their game against the Stetson Hatters. So again, just kind of interesting information there. They're telling us the storm near Nashville is showing signs of weakening. However, some hail and gusty winds. As I go ahead and switch over real quick, we're talking about maybe some hail and gusty winds remain a possibility as the core collapses, mostly east of US 129 in Berrien County. So again, if you had some hail out there, at this point it'd be even a little bit less than half of what this is. As I try to get it into the shot, I know sometimes it's not the easiest thing to do, but it'd be less than this, less than half of this. So just for a little bit of a demonstration there again, as we were showing you some of those different examples of hail preserved in wax from about 25 years ago when I was very young and we were out in North Texas there. So again, let's go ahead right now and we'll go back on over to the graphics here. I know we'll go ahead and dive into some more details now as we'll try to see you guys some more information that's important here in these overall weather situations. I know you see our system. We'll have things are fine here as we look ahead later in the summer, hopefully. But still, it's just full of a lot of weather information. Still, so it's causing us to have some issues from time to time on the stream. But whenever a tornado threat does arise, like what we'll see there, maybe toward Texas on Wednesday, or maybe later in the week to the weekend around here, you just want to remember whenever that tornado warning gets issued that you want to try to avoid taking shelter in a mobile home, get inside a sturdy building, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, and protect yourself from flying debris by putting on a bicycle helmet. I'm going to step out of the shot right now, and we'll go ahead and see some more weather information. You'll kind of get an idea of what else we're anticipating here in terms of that rainfall forecast now. You can see here, looking ahead, the next 7 days could get quite a bit of rain, and we need the rain because we still have wildfire threat, especially off toward north central Florida. So this rain will be beneficial here in nature, beneficial rains here. That we're looking, you see also you can go to carter.com/radar when we're not on the air for an interactive look at things. You can just see the lesser amounts there and towards Gainesville, but still an inch or two on average would be helpful. We had a quarter inch there on that Tuesday. That's the most rain we had in about a month here toward the east of Stark. So that's something we needed. It didn't even take very long to fall. So kind of interesting to see that on my rain gauge, my Davis Weather Station here east of Stark and Bradford County. We'll just continue to watch things as we go to that extended forecast now the next 7 days. Again, strong to severe thunderstorms will be possible at times across our area, so stay tuned for further updates here. As that severe thunderstorm warning is officially went away at 12:45. It looks like for portions of Berrien County, but that's in South Georgia. But you can see 50% chance of rain there on that Wednesday, but 70 Thursday, 70 Friday, 40 Saturday, 60 Sunday, and early Monday that rain chance lingering as well. So again, we'll just be watching everything here. We'll be watching for all 62 of our counties here in the Weather Center. To put that behind me real quick, you can see toward Berrien County there. That's where we had that warning expire. We'll be watching maybe more toward North Central Florida later on this Wednesday. So just kind of keep that in mind here as we look back at that extended forecast now, and I'll see the rest of that You can kind of see here what we're looking at toward the next week period of Tuesday morning, maybe down to 54, getting a little below average, a little bit drier air and clearer conditions coming in, and hopefully we'll get a clearer pattern for a little bit. Because some of us will actually need to dry out from the rain and storms. You don't want to keep seeing storms around. I mean, we could still use the rain maybe even at that point, but still, you don't want severe weather to just be hanging around as it's going to kind of do so. We just had a warning here. We weren't even under a thunderstorm risk. I mean, that's crazy to think about here as we're looking toward Berrien County. So, again, I know we're sitting right now, looking at my thermometer, toward those lower 60s at the present time. Some rural spots are dropping up 50s, but other spots here toward the coast will be a little bit warmer than what we have presented to you guys later on this Wednesday morning. So again, just trying to give you guys a look at the grand scheme of things. You can see again, rain chances, storm chances will be in the picture. So just be prepared whenever thunder roars go indoors. And not really a tornado chance, but doesn't look like much today. Later on this Wednesday, but as we look ahead, maybe later Thursday or with some of our other threats here, as we're just going to have round after round, we could have something that tries to rise. We'll be watching. We have our local red because we're just warning you guys to stay safe. Again, tonight's just a really early appetizer here in the local area view, but with that warning in Berrien, we did have that damage toward Quitman, but again, that was not even anticipated. There wasn't even a thunderstorm risk in play for that area. And we did mention that, though, the warning in play on Facebook and Twitter around 10:45, but again, I'll go ahead and step back into where it's at right now. That pretty much sums everything up here for this early Wednesday. I will leave you with that Doppler radar presentation now. That Doppler presentation, that warning no longer in play for Berrien County, but a significant weather advisory in play for central Berrien until about 1:15. That's something for those folks to keep an eye on here for sure. I know, just looking to see if there's anything else we need to talk about here. I think we pretty much covered everything we need to. Very unusual to see a hail threat like what we did toward Lake County, all that damage or this side of our viewing area, up in Berrien County and the like. So keep everybody in our thoughts and prayers that are impacted by that significant storm system late Tuesday afternoon there toward the early evening into portions of central Florida. Again, we'll be watching for more significant severe weather around here. More organized potential. Very unusual to see what we had with that thunderstorm warning just now for Berrien County, but that's no longer in play. We'll be putting things out if we need to, if there are any more warnings overnight here. I kind of doubt it, but if there are, we'll keep you guys up to date. Have a good night, everybody. Stay safe out there from these thunderstorms, which at some points could be on the severe side.